leading New York Yankees, who have now won 5 in a row, and what a road team, winning 22 out of 28 on the road this year against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers coming fresh from winning 3 out of 4 from Boston over the weekend, and now only 2 games out of second place. ABC's Monday Night Baseball.
Everybody, and welcome to another great night of Monday Night Baseball with Warner Wolf and Bob Uecker. This is Bob Prince here in Detroit, where close to 40,000 fans are on hand right here at Tiger Stadium to see if the young and ambitious Detroit team can flag down this Yankee Express. It's been a long time since New York has charged to the front, and they broke on top April 23rd and so far have beaten back all challengers. Tonight, Detroit, fresh from a 3 out of 4 popping of the Red Sox, as Warner told you, stand before the Yankees and say, hey, let's get on with it.
Hi, I'm Warner Wolf along with Bob Prince inside the Detroit Tiger locker room. And, man, do we have a ball game for you tonight. But before we get on with it, as Bob Prince said, let's reevaluate and perhaps sum up what has happened with Charlie Finley in the situation. As you know, he averted a strike by playing Rudy in fingers yesterday. There is still a lawsuit pending. And last week, Bob Prince, you said that perhaps Commissioner Bowie Kuhn is baiting a trap. What did you mean by that?
Well, specifically, Warner, what I meant was that I felt that he stood on very firm ground. You'll recall that he acted in what he felt was the best interest of Major League Baseball by negating that deal. Now, I don't think he was involved at all in the legal aspects of it because he felt that baseball should not see 3 premier ball players go to 1 or 2 ball clubs on the basis that if this keeps up, what's going to happen is the wealthy club will end up with all the better players. So I think he's on very firm ground, and he baited the trap in this fashion because what's going to happen, I think, legally will be that, of course, Charlie Finley will be upheld. Then the commissioner can say, well, I did all I could do, and here you are, Mr. Marvin Miller, here you are, Mr. Baseball player. You've put yourself in a position now that you can't get out of, and all the good players are going to end up with the wealthy ball clubs, and the rest of you can go back to doing whatever it is you do best, second best.
Speaking of Charlie Finley, pitching tonight for the New York Yankees, Kenny Holtzman. And, Bob, you saw Holtzman come up with the Cubs in '66, and, of course, he later pitched for the A's and Charlie Finley.
Well, you know, I don't understand one thing about Kenny Holtzman. He seems to be an unhappy young man. Why? I don't know. He's a fine pitcher. He's not a great pitcher, in my opinion. Over in the National League, he won 74, lost 69, so he was up 5. In the American League, he's up 22. He's 82 and 60. Does this mean that the National League is a tougher league? I don't know.
Cubs weren't a great ball club.
Well, that's right. But Walter Johnson won a lot of 20 games, and he played on one of the worst clubs you ever looked at. I think you'll find that in the long run, that Holtzman is a fine player. One of the good things about Kenny is you can give him the ball, and he's going to go out and pitch without missing a turn, so you can settle your staff around him. Number 2, he's going to keep you in the ball game pretty much to the degree that even if he is behind, Warner, you have a chance to catch up. But why he's so unhappy and doesn't want to sign a contract, I don't know. If he were a great pitcher, I could understand it. He's not really great, but then again, he isn't all that bad.
And he speaks highly of you, Bob.
Well, I have nothing against him.
Okay.
Looking at the record, you know, and the record says that he owes him a few.
All right, on the other side of the fence, pitching for the Tigers, a gentleman I think we would have to refer to as a character. His name is Mark Fidrych. He's 21 years old. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts. He was not on the Tiger roster when the season began. They brought him up, and now Fidrych has a record of 7-1, has only lost 2-0 to the Red Sox. He has also completed 7 games. But the interesting part, and people are coming tonight, perhaps nearly 40,000, to see Fidrych. Why? Because he does such things as pats the mound between innings. He will talk to the ball. He will show a path to the ball. He will congratulate his fielders on the field after a great play. So Mark Fidrych is the man people have come to see tonight, and can he beat the Yankees? And speaking of the Yankees, they have loaded a lineup with 7 or perhaps 8 left-handed hitters. And Bob Uecker right now standing in the Yankee dugout. Tiger Stadium is a hitter's ballpark.
Right you are, Warner Wolf, probably one of the better hitting ballparks in baseball. And, of course, tonight we're going to see the red-hot New York Yankees. I've just seen them in a 4-game series in New York, probably one of the hottest hitting clubs in baseball. You know, when you're talking about hitting, you're talking about one of my favorite subjects. 200 lifetime batting average tied me with another sports great averaging 200 or better for a 10-year period. I was bowler Don Carter. But you know, a lot of people looking in tonight, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, sure, you can talk the way you do because it was always easy for you. This is not true. I've had my problems, all incidents that happened during the ball game with me hitting. Coming up in the 9th inning of a ball game, bases loaded, 2 outs, down by a run. And to look in the visitors' dugout and see them sitting there with their street clothes on. I've had incidents happen where I'd come home maybe a 0 for June, 0 for July. And I'll never forget what my dad used to tell me. Why don't you get a job? But these are little things that never bothered me. Maybe to look down at the third base coach for a sign, have him turn his back on you. Or maybe the catcher, instead of putting a sign down, just hollering out and telling the pitcher what to throw. But I think these are the things that really drove me on. You know, I can remember ordering bats. Sometimes they'd come back with a handle at each end. These are things that never discouraged me. I've had people ask me a lot of times, Bob, how long would a dozen bats last you? I would have to say, depending on what model, what weight of bat I was using, 8 to 10 cookouts. But you know, when you're recognized as a hitting star the way I was, it gets aggravating a lot of times to maybe walk down the street. I've had it happen in New York City, walking down the street with my catcher's equipment on. And people asked me if I was a ball player, recognizing me right away. But these are things, as I said, that drove me on. A lot of awards for hitting. And I think any youngster can have these same awards if you're willing to make a few sacrifices and to pay a price. And some of the bigger awards I have cost me well over $100 each. What an outstanding ball game here tonight. The Yankees against the Tigers, and now back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Tigers and Yankees. The Tigers take the field, and now it's estimated 50,000 fans will be here tonight. The starting lineup for the visiting New York Yankees, leading off and in center field, one of the hottest batters in baseball today, 27-year-old Mickey Rivers. Rivers hitting .330, is 18 for his last 36 times at bat, and is on a 20-game hitting streak. Rivers also has 24 stolen bases. Now the rest of the New York Yankees as they introduce themselves.
Roy White, left field, Wayne, New Jersey.
My name is Carlos Smith. I'm designated hitter from Birmingham, Alabama.
Chris Chambliss, first base, Oceanside, California.
Greg Nettles, third base, San Diego, California.
Oscar Gamble, right field from Montgomery, Alabama.
Elrod Hendricks, catcher, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Willie Randolph, second baseman, Brooklyn, New York.
Jim Mason, shortstop from Mobile, Alabama.
Ken Holtzman, pitcher, Lincolnshire, Illinois.
So, Billy Martin, manager, born Berkeley, California, died New York.
All right, Bob Prince, what about these Tigers on defense tonight?
Well, if I can get over that laugh, I'll tell you, they're a pretty tough ball club. They're young and they're rambunctious. We got Mickey Stanley out there playing the left field, and he can move all over the spot, this young man. Ron LaFleur, who, of course, is well known for having beaten a rap in prison and come out to play great baseball. Rusty Staub, who is a star with the Mets and quite a raconteur of cooking, is the right fielder. Then on top of that, we have Aurelio Rodriguez playing at third. He's a young guy, likes to charge the ball. He'll play up tight. Tom Brasier, the shortstop, can range well to his left and to his right. Pedro Garcia also has good movement to his right and his left, especially going back on short pops. Jason Thompson, another young man, a good left-hand thrower, as you can see, will be playing at first base for the Tigers tonight. And behind the plate is Bruce Kim. And Bruce is out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and just came up from Evansville in Tucson last year. And on the mound is this young man by the name of Mark Fidrych, and I guess the pictures can tell most everything, Bob Uecker, but there's a lot about him that we maybe don't understand.
I'll tell you, this is one of the funniest guys probably that I've seen come along in baseball in a long time. He's got outstanding stuff, though, Bob. He's won 7, lost 1. I haven't seen a pitcher as young as Mark Fidrych be able to keep the ball down. He throws a sinking fastball, slider, not that good a curveball, but he's an outstanding guy at hitting spots. And every once in a while, if he wants to come upstairs, pitch you tight, he can do it. And you're going to see a lot of antics from this young right-hander tonight.
Batting at .409 in that streak. Bounce to first baseman. Thompson, 1 out. One thing about a ball in the seats, it belongs to the fan.
Stay with his fastball. He's got that good sinking fastball.
Up towards second baseman Garcia. And on to Thompson, 2 away. There's no score. You know, one thing about Pedro Garcia, he will come on very quickly after a ball. He'll not let it eat him up. And
He's got that good sinking fastball. He'll pitch you tight. He's got good stuff.
that's a base hit to left field off the end of the bat. Now, to show you about his velocity, the pitch before that, he fired the ball at 93 miles an hour on our Jug's velocity machine, Fidrych, and he just overpowered Carlos May at that time, and he hit it weakly off the left side for the base hit. Now, his ball club is a team of, really a team of effort, because not one man can you say this one man has done it. He said,
for and lower deck, you would think it would be a bad hitting background, but this is an outstanding hitting background in Tiger Stadium.
well, it's just dark enough under the overhang out there. It's 340 down the left line, 325 to right, then fades out. And Fidrych just threw it right by as he turned off the lights on Mr. Chambliss. So they strand the runner, and we go now to the Detroit first inning, and there is no score.
The Detroit Tigers as they introduce themselves for tonight's game.
Ron LaFleur, outfield, Detroit, Michigan. Tom Verizon, shortstop, Iceland, New York.
I'm Rusty Staub. I play right field, and I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Alex Johnson, designated hitter.
I'm Jason Thompson, first baseman from Apple Valley, California.
I'm Aurelio Rodriguez for the Detroit Tigers, third base, and I'm from Cananea, Sonora, Mexico.
Mickey Stanley, left field, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
My name is Pedro Garcia. I play second base for the Detroit Tigers, and I'm from Guayana, Puerto Rico.
Bruce Kim, catcher, Norway, Iowa.
Good evening. I'm Mark Fidrych from Northborough, Massachusetts, and a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers.
I'm Ralph Hout, manager of the Detroit Tigers. I come from Lawrence, Kansas. Right now I live in Pompano Beach, Florida.
Ball game. So we welcome all of you joining us as there is no score here. And Kenny Holtzman sends it on to Ron LaFleur. LaFleur at 349, 2 homers, 24 runs batted in. Holtzman 5-5 on the year, 8-5 lifetime against the Tigers.
That he changes speed so many times, throws so many changeups off, on his own.
And they'd like to know what it is. Ron LaFleur has drawn a walk. Now, LaFleur, by the way, has had base hits in 54 of the 61 games that he's played. He's second in the American League in batting, so he's at first on a walk. Pretty good speed. Here comes now Tom Verizon, the shortstop at 239, 1 homer and 18 runs batted in. Bouncer slowly bounced toward third, and they got the one play to second, not in time over at first. So Nettles went on to Willie Randolph on a 5-4 play on LaFleur. And Verizon safe at first on the force out, and the batter's going to be the great raconteur of the gourmet cooking, Rusty Staub. Yes, because I think a Holtzman's move made him go back, and that tied him up just enough that they were able to make it easy at second. Seriously about him putting out a cookbook out of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's hit deep to right field, going way back, and it's a home run. Strike to him. So 2-0 now. The Tigers on Staub's 4th homer and his 41st run batted in. Now, up toward shortstop Mason. In time to Chambliss and 2 away. They say, Warner, that Fidrych really helps draw a lot of people.
Warner, when you watch him throughout the course of the season, he doesn't really get that teed up. Any ground balls hit on the infield. Now, if he hits the ball to the outfield someplace, he'll run a little bit, but nothing bothers A.J.
All right, now this young man is Jason Thompson out of Hollywood, California. He missed almost all of the American League season the first month. He was, of course, managing against his former Yankee ball club and Billy Martin. Bounced up toward first base. Now second baseman Randolph will get it. Fires for the out to retire the side. The Tigers break on top with a booming home run off the facade of the upper deck in right field by Rusty Staub, his 4th, with a man aboard. At the end of 1, 2-0 Detroit.
Boston over the weekend. They're only 2 games out of second. But most of these people, in all fairness to the rest of the Tigers and Yankees, have come to see Mark Fidrych. He is a character. Some people refer to him as an eccentric. He will pat the mound. He'll talk to the ball. He'll congratulate his players after an excellent play. So that's the situation as we go to the second inning.
Shortly, once it resumes. And there's a ball popped up the third base side. Rodriguez going back. Fair territory. The ball's spinning in there. He grabbed it. And he had to stay right with that one. That was a tough play.
Well, I'll tell you a fast story. Rodriguez in Boston Thursday night. Fidrych pitching, 2 outs. Pop up to Rodriguez to end the game, and Rodriguez dropped the ball.
All right, Oscar Gamble stepping in. Born out in Alabama, and a strike to him. This broke one thing on Holtzman. He's 8-5 lifetime against the Tigers, so he's not had it real easy against them. There's a ball hit high right. Looks like it's playable by Staub. It is, and a fair ball catch. So Oscar Gamble retired.
You notice Ellie Hendricks is catching for the Yankees tonight, and as we mentioned earlier, Munson was hurt. We're going to take a look at the play in which Munson was hurt. It was in Yankee Stadium, and it was a fly ball to right fielder Elliot Maddox. And Charlie Spikes, big guy, 6'2", 225, tags up from third. Maddox, beautiful throw to Munson, who puts it on him for the out, but Spikes crashed into Munson, and poor Munson is down, and he is not playing, and he hasn't played since that ball game.
Turned off the plate, and Bruce Kim, the catcher, sitting way inside on Hendricks, giving a good target for Fidrych.
That's hit very deep down the right center, going back to Staub, and that baby, you can kiss it goodbye. Elrod hit number 3 out of here, and it's a 2-1 ball game. He came inside that time with not enough on it and got stroked.
That's the one thing I was just talking about. With this Yankee batting order, with the left-handed batters in there, Fidrych continually throwing inside. But if you're going to pitch in there, you can't make mistakes. And Elrod Hendricks nailed that fastball. And it's now a 2-1 ball game.
I was wondering if we're setting a record. Willie Randolph stepping in now. And what a steal he's been. All right, high fly ball, left field, Mickey Stanley and LaFleur. LaFleur cuts in front of him, the center fielder, and makes the grab. So Elrod Hendricks hits a home run to bring the Yankees partway back at the end of 1.5. It's 2-1 Detroit. Aurelio Rodriguez, the third baseman, batting at .263, 4 homers, 28 runs batted in. He was born in Cananea, Sonora, Mexico. Purchased by the California Angels back in '66, and then they sent him to the Senators in '70, and they moved him on to Detroit. Plays at third. That's hit right field, and Oscar Gamble has the play. Right out in that territory, an historic event took place in right field. And the first ball ever hit up over there was hit by Babe Ruth. It was number 700. He did it in July of 1934. 1 year later, he hit his last home run, and the first ever struck at Forbes Field over the right field roof. Gallus, a member of the Yankee Ball Club, as you watch Mickey Stanley stand in, the left fielder.
Third base coach Dick Hauser. You watch Ken Holtzman pitch, you always, they talk about young pitchers always picking up that target very quickly.
Nettles from third will throw him out.
You watch Holtzman, he doesn't pick up the target until he's almost delivered the baseball. He's got
twice singled in the first game, and then had a 2-run double in the second game.
Now this is Pedro Garcia from Guayama, Puerto Rico. And Russ Getz from Glassport, Pennsylvania is at third. So there are your umpires. Maloney, McCann, Bremigan, and Getz. They are allowed to go inside if they want. That's hit high left field and playable by Roy White. The left fielder getting under, and the Tigers put the Yankees down in 1-2-3 fashion. And at the end of 2 innings of play, Detroit on top, 2-1.
That is not a member of the Detroit ground crew. That's starting pitcher Mark Fidrych, who pats the mound. He manicures the mound before each inning. That's one of his idiosyncrasies. And if he continues to win, every kid in the country is going to do it. Fidrych explained why he does it before each inning.
Oh, I've always done that. Just because I like to start and dig my own hole. Because the other person digs their own hole for their feet to go comfortable to land and all that. I want my own hole to the way I land, so I don't get into another person's rut or whatever, you know. And that way I'll like make short stride because I'm trying to hit his hole. So if I make it all level, then I hit my own hole and make my own holes. And then he fills in my hole too, if you really notice it. But he just does it with his feet or something, or he digs it out because he doesn't like it. You know, he wants it deep or something like that. It's just the way I do it.
Bill, Alabama. He's the shortstop.
It's a shame if his parents come to a ball game and see him doing that. Think something happened and he got cramps or something out there.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bounced up toward Randolph. Or rather, up toward Garcia. And he throws on to Thompson. That'll bring up Mickey Rivers now. Mickey bounced out to first base. 1 out to Mickey Rivers. We are in the 3rd.
There he is. Look at him. He's talking to it now. Fidrych talking to that ball.
Foul. That caught a little of everybody, including the plate umpire, George Maloney, on the shin guard.
You know, the one thing I think a lot of people wonder about a youngster like Mark Fidrych, he's 7-1. He's got all the antics out the mound. Look at him right there. He's talking to him. He's talking. He's telling the ball where he wants it to go. Think that doesn't bother you as a hitter? I'm telling you, it's got to. Come on, ball, right down there.
And right down on a fine play by Jason Thompson. Well, he must be saying, I want you to move inside, I want you to slide, this time I want you to sink, and I'll tell you, and if you hear this thing, then if you don't believe him, then you're in real trouble, aren't you?
This one hard, I got to really get something on this ball, and he threw him a slider. Well, you can't believe him all the time when he's talking out there.
Ball 1 here to Roy White. Bounced out to second first time up. And slams a ball a little doer down the left field line. That thing running loose out there. And Roy's got himself a 2-base popper.
I wanted to bring up about Fidrych. You talk about this youngster. He's won 7, lost 1. It's happened many times before where a pitcher goes around the league the first time, and the second time around they beat his brains out. But you know, the more I watch this guy and the way he pitches, staying downstairs, I believe he's got it all.
1. This is his ninth start. Bounced down towards second. And they throw him out. So Fidrych strands a double by Roy White. And we go now to the bottom half of the 3rd inning in front of jam-packed Tiger Stadium in Detroit. 2-1, the Tigers. And the youngsters dressed in their junior Tiger uniforms, and they played themselves quite a ball game.
You watch Ken Holtzman. Watch when he delivers now. He's not looking at Elrod Hendricks at all.
And that ball's popped in the shallow right field, and Oscar, well, it's going to be the center fielder that's going to grab it. That's his territory, Mickey Rivers.
He's picked it up a notch. By the All-Star break, and then you have to start thinking seriously about the 60 and the 61.
Bounce toward third. It hits the bag. It's a fair ball.
It hit the coach.
And now that keeps it in play, Joe Schultz. There would have been a very interesting situation. If it doesn't hit Schultz, it's going to go on into the dugout.
On the third base side, you see Ron LaFleur now, a little chopper. This ball hits the edge of the bag. And as Bob Prince said, if it doesn't hit Joe Schultz, well, Joe's still as quick as he always was.
I don't want to be remembered at Jim.
I don't think I've ever seen a ricochet off a bag that way going toward the dugout. Supposed to stand in that coaching box, but if you get a look at Dick Trzaskowski, he's well out of it at first base, and Joe Schultz has got his prerogative. If he wants to stand on the grass, that's up to him. He just wasn't quick enough to get out of the way.
We're going, and the throw by Hendricks high, stolen base. LaFleur has gone in there. 1 down. First Tigers you see in 42 years to steal 20 bases for 3 consecutive years. Ball 2, strike 2 count here to Verizon. That's hit high, right center field deep. Rivers and Gamble with speed, and it'll be Rivers that'll grab it, tagging LaFleur, and will come easily to third. Now LaFleur can score only actually on the base hit or the errant play. So notice how short his bat is when you get a chance here. Well, they got him. He turned his lights out. So, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 3 innings, the Tigers on top of the Yankees, 2-1. Served up only 3 hits. 1 of them left the park off the bat of Elrod Hendricks. his third homer of the year back in the second inning. So we're sitting on top of a whale of a ball game, Bob Uecker. It's 2-1 Detroit.
That sign you saw a couple of moments ago for Mark Fidrych, they're all over Detroit. Maid came in my room this morning. She had one on her back. The Birdman, Mark Fidrych. Right field, Rusty Staub, running grab, and he's got it. Fine running grab by Rusty Staub in right center field. Taking an extra base hit away from Chris Chambliss.
Well, one of the things about Rusty Staub is he breaks about as quickly as anybody. The moment he heard that bat and ball sound, he just took off and went and really made it look very easy.
2-1 to Nettles. There you see his stats. 224, homered 11 times. You see Mark Fidrych. That's one of the reasons they call him the Bird. Named him after the bird on Sesame Street. Tall, lean, and he's got webbed feet. No, that's not true. Inside breaking ball.
He's a right-hander.
Base for Nettles. The claims quickly to pull. Right field base hit. Nettles lines a single to right field. And that for the Yankees is their fourth base hit off Mark Fidrych.
Field. It's as simple as that. Of course, the coach can't pick up the ball.
I think it's a slam at a coach when you walk up to him before a ball game and say, look, you're part of the field. So. And we might see him go. Oscar Gamble. Left center field, chasing LaFleur. He's going to get there. He's got it. Ron LaFleur hauls down that drive off the bat of Oscar Gamble. Here's Elrod Hendricks, the catcher. He homered his last time up and his first time up. He makes it a curveball stop. You saw I shot him playing way off the bag for Hendricks. Right field up in the air, not deep. Ron LaFleur in right center. Puts it away, sides retired. In the Yankee fourth, no runs. One hit, no errors, one left. We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Tigers 2, Yankees 1. Great hitting ballpark, Tiger Stadium.
You know, you wonder what designated hitters do between innings. Carlos May just warmed up Kenny Holtzman between the innings.
Cleveland leading your club 5-3. Your Milwaukee club's having a little trouble there, Mr. Uecker.
They've been having problems. There you see Alex Johnson and two members of his family. Young man. Played in the father-son game. You can tell the guy got a base hit. The little boy had a base hit. The girl 0 for 1. Jennifer. 1-1 to A.J. Right field. Leaping grab by Chambliss. He's got it.
The amount of criticism as we watch this replay again on the drive and the leap up by Chambliss, how much that deal for him was criticized a year or so ago and how it's paying off for the Yankees now.
10 home runs, 33 RBIs, hitting a .238.
And he hit 3 home runs early in the season.
Right center field, Mickey Rivers has got this one. Puts it away, 2 down.
Montreal 4-2 at the end of 6. Carlton against Rogers, and that when Mike Schmidt the big home run.
We're in the fourth, and the Tigers lead it 2-1. Shortstop side, Jim Mason. Chambliss has got it, sides retired. 1-2-3 inning for Detroit in the fourth. They get nothing. At the end of 4 innings, 2-1 Detroit.
He's playing for Bradenton, Florida. That's his first year of professional baseball.
He's done a fine job for the Yankees.
Rule of thumb always on a successful pitcher when you compare the strikeouts to the walks.
Shortstop side, Tom Verizon. Strong throw, and he got him.
In this case, Fidrych has struck out twice as many batters as he has walked. Usually that's a pretty safe rule of thumb.
Jim Mason, the Yankee shortstop. Left center field, Mickey Stanley is there, called off by LaFleur, but Stanley grabs that one. Don't think Ron LaFleur's got speed. He got to Stanley in a big hurry. Stanley was playing well in the left center field for Mickey Rivers, the leadoff batter and the center fielder. Second base side. Pete Garcia, throw got him, sides retired. Easy inning for young Mark Fidrych. Sits the Yankees down 1-2-3. No problem for Fidrych. In the Yankee fifth, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. In the middle of inning number 5, Detroit 2, New York 1.
Now, back when I was young, I used to clown around, horse around the ball field, and make some bonehead plays during the course of a ball game. Now I have to try and set an example, do the right things fundamentally, and hope that the younger kids catch on, and maybe I can be a big asset to the ball club that way.
In the air to short left field. Roy White puts it away, one down.
You know, one thing, Bob Uecker, Kenny Holtzman trailing here by a run. He saw Staub take him downtown with a man aboard the riser. And then Hendricks got one back off Fidrych. He led the American League with 58 assists, and he had 18 victories. So he keeps you in that ball game like we were talking about earlier at the start of the show.
Over in the trade for Sutherland. He said the Brewers didn't get enough for him. Second base side, Randolph. Nice play. Throw got him. Willie Randolph. That extra effort with speed. We'll see it. The one thing that hurt Pedro more than anything else, he hit 15 home runs his first year in the big leagues. 1-1 to Bruce Kim. Home runs for you all year long, and the Brewers tried to get him to change. Hit the ball more toward right field, and he just couldn't accept it. Willie Randolph. He's going to have to hurry. Oh, he's threw away into the dugout. Bruce Kim had a chance to beat that ball out. I would have got him anyway. Here's Randolph. He broke the wrong way now on that ball.
Well, the reason he did is that the ball was hit in a very peculiar fashion off the end of the bat. And as he let that ball go right there, you can see he didn't have a very good grip on it. It almost picks off the umpire, practically picked off the coach, and almost nailed the youngster down on the side. So
Tigers have a runner in scoring position. Bruce Kim at second. They lead it 2-1. We're in the fifth inning. Again, 2 strikes to the floor. 2 men out, and a runner on second base. Got him. Good breaking ball by Holtzman. Strikes out round the floor to end the fifth inning. We'll be back with more baseball after this word from our local stations. And Roy White, the left fielder, leads it off. Bounce to second. In the third, he doubled down the left field line. Center field going to be an easy play for round the floor. Puts it away, one down. Oh, Mark Fidrych continues to sail along. 1 out in the Yankees' 6th. Ball and no strikes to May. He knows where he wants this pitch to be. Second base side, Pedro Garcia. Throw to Thompson, 2 down. Deal by the Reds, but declined.
Yes, I have. Might still be in the minor leagues with them or traded sooner. I was drafted twice by the Reds, and I didn't sign because they didn't offer enough money for me coming out of college like that. When I did have eligibility in college, and I could just go ahead and play college ball. So I decided to stay in the college and try to have a better year, and maybe I could come up with a better bonus.
Hit in the air to left field. Mickey Stanley puts it away. Sides retired. Another easy inning for the young right-hander Mark Fidrych. In the middle of inning number 6, 2-1. Detroit, the top riser. Headed back over the bag at second. Randolph throw, and he got him. Willie Randolph, a nice play behind the bag at second.
Let it go.
First base side, Chambliss. He's got the ball, and he steps on the bag, and that retires Rusty Staub. Chambliss didn't know he had that ball.
No, he was holding that ball like a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Backed in 29, started tonight's ball game hitting at 280. 2 strikes to Alex Johnson. Fidrych. Mason going to have to hurry. Throw, and he got him by a step. The Yankees retire the Tigers in order in the 6th inning. They get nothing. At the end of 6 full innings of play, Detroit 2, New York 1.
Big average year, but with 11 home runs and 33 runs batted in, a pretty good productive year as far as power goes. And I asked him about it the other day.
Well, I feel the best part of my season so far has been my defense. I played good third base, and I made some good plays for us, saved a few games, and in the long run, my hitting will come around.
What are the stolen bases? You've stolen more stolen bases this year than the last 4 years.
Yeah, I think I've gotten 6 or 7 stolen bases, and it's just because Billy gives me the sign. The other guys wouldn't even give me the sign or let me run.
He didn't bother him, did he?
3-2 to Nettles. Fidrych can't get it. Garcia, no play. That'll be a base hit for Greg Nettles. Now watch Fidrych. If he talks to Garcia here, it says, nice try.
Well, what happens here, of course, I think Garcia's going to have a play if he isn't interfered with. Right there is the action that stopped him from making the throw on Nettles. It would have been awfully close, but fortunately there, more than anything else, is to get the bases and that neither player was injured.
This is a presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds now to allow our local stations to identify themselves. The two-strike pitch. Easy play for LaFleur. And Nettles fakes the tag, goes a quarter of the way down and comes back. Played most of his career with the Orioles. Mickey Stanley. 2 gone for the Yankees as Nettles returns to first. Remember, Stanley in his prime really was one of the fine center fielders in baseball. 0 for 2, flied out and grounded out.
He's unhappy about it. Anything with Randolph, he's committed 10 errors.
Fidrych fields his position well and throws out Randolph by 45 feet. And look at Fidrych tear off the mound, and he's the first one back in the dugout. Your leagues and lead the Tigers in home runs as he does. 21-year-old Jason Thompson. Thompson 0 for 2 tonight, grounded out and flied out. Line drive, second one of the night, caught by Chambliss.
6 a week from tomorrow.
Talking about Rookie of the Year, or talking about Randolph, I would imagine if Fidrych continues, he'd have to get a vote in there. Young child. Aurelio Jr. Right field. Gamble. And home run, Rodriguez. Aurelio Rodriguez. Number 5 for Aurelio, and the Tigers lead it 3-1.
Without a man on board.
Right you are, Bob Prince. There's Stanley. Chambliss waves Holtzman off and makes the play himself. And grounded out in the 5th. 3-1, Tigers lead it in the 7th. Mason takes his time to Chambliss, and that's it for the Tigers. A 1-run, 1 hit, the home run to right field by Rodriguez to the opposite field, and after 7 complete, Detroit 3, the Yankees 1.
Hey, I might be up there for that sailing deal.
You'll be on one of those vessels.
I might be on one of the boats. They want me to go up in the crow's nest.
Yes.
Show hitting films up there.
Well, that would be very
interesting. It's going to be an
interesting.
outstanding deal, though.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm kind of interested in, too, while we have the opportunity. I know we're going to be doing this big all-star game and everything, but I'm kind of looking ahead a little bit. In the National League, I'm wondering if the big shootout in the championship series is going to be between Philadelphia and Cincinnati.
Better than they are right now, Bob. They might be around there come September.
Mason hits the first pitch. Garcia, easy play, 4-3 if you're scoring, and there's 1 down.
You know, Warner Wolf and Bob Uecker, I don't think we can really, and let's get this in a hurry, say that any one team is out of the National League or the American League. But we're just sort of speculating right now about certain shootouts. The big thing is we don't have to speculate. We're going to be covering it for ABC and baseball fans all over the world.
2 games out of second. For Reiser. 2 down, 6-3 if you're scoring. And that could be the hitting streak for Mickey Rivers unless the Yankees come back and at least tie this ball game.
Miles an hour, 92 miles an hour early in the ball game. He is at 93 right now. We're in the 8th inning.
The pitchers involved in this game tonight working on the streak of Rivers.
And White swings at the 2-ball, no-count base hit. White will try for second. Stops throw. He is in there. And Garcia says, come on. Give me a break.
Second base umpire.
I'll tell you the surprise here. That White, the Yanks down by 2, tries to make it to second. They need base runners.
I'll tell you, Warner, here's a slide. Now, here's a good hook slide by Roy White.
Safe.
And Garcia's tag is late. Roy White has got good speed. He knew the throwing arm of Rusty Staub, too. Rusty Staub had to make a complete turn and throw that ball from right field.
1-1 to May. Easy play for Garcia, and that's it for the Yankees. So, as the Tigers come to bat, and look at Fidrych charge off that mound. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Tigers 3, the Yankees 1.
Baltimore 10-8 at the end of 7. Duncan and Grich and Hobson had homered.
Sounds like a kung fu artist. Nettles throws out Kim, and there's one down.
Philadelphia whacking Montreal 6-2, and Schmidt has hit the big home run there. Carlton's winning his 7th.
LaFleur tries to bunt his way on. LaFleur 1 for 2 tonight. Walked in the first. Fidrych, but he has really been tough with men on base. Right field, base hit for LaFleur. Gamble fakes the throw to first, faking the throw behind LaFleur and throws it into second.
He looks toward the plate. He's not going to throw home. He's going to go to first base.
There goes LaFleur. The throw. He's going to be safe. LaFleur at second, 1 out. Right field, Gamble toward the line. Can't get it, base hit. LaFleur rounding third. They hold him up. Throw gets away, but it will be backed up, and down to second goes Verizon. Would you put on Rusty Staub?
There you look at Ron LaFleur now. When he finally sees the ball isn't going to be caught, you're going to see Joe Schultz coming into your picture. You're holding Ron LaFleur. Well, you didn't see him, but Schultz held him. And wisely so, I believe, although the throw got away from Chambliss. With a guy like Rusty Staub coming up and only one man out, why take a chance on LaFleur getting thrown out at the plate? Tigers leading 3-1.
Verizon at second, LaFleur at third, 1 out. Staub the batter. And nice play by Randolph. Has only one play as LaFleur scores. So gives Staub an RBI, his third of the night, and the Tigers lead 4-1. Round out, 2 outs, 4-1. Tigers lead. Alex Johnson, the batter. Fair ball, and it drops. Fair ball. Verizon scores. Johnson on his way to second. The throw to second. Too late. Johnson's in with a double. 5-1 Tigers.
We have another pretty good battle going now.
Sign here.
Definitely.
He's got it. Randolph to Chambliss. That's it for the Tigers, but they score 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 1 left. We go to the 9th. The Tigers lead it 5-1.
This is the young man here at second base, Willie Randolph. But that's going to be a very, very big event on the bicentennial year at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where we'll be, all of us, to bring you right here on ABC, the All-Star. We hope that you'll continue battling and send them in. Here's your National League looking now. A lot of Cincinnati players in there. That's practically Cincinnati and Philadelphia with Steve Garvey nudging in, and, of course, Dave Sky King Kingman of the New York Mets. So that's going to be a great All-Star game. We hope.
Tigers were only 2 games out of second place.
Young man wins tonight, Water. He may well have the best winning percentage in baseball.
He's got him. And the fans are standing for Fidrych. He may be your starting All-Star pitcher for the American League.
To be on his staff, I'll tell you that.
Garcia, 2 down in the 9th. And look at Fidrych. He's talking, he's walking around.
Take a look at this young man. Nice play, Pedro. That's just what he said right there. Nice play, Pedro. I love this guy.
Right field, well hit. LaFleur falls down. It's off the wall. And Gamble stumbles and comes back to first. Gamble maybe missed the bag. LaFleur is down.
He hit that pipe out there.
That's exactly what he did, Bob Prince. He hit that pipe at the 370 mark out there. His feet gave away from under him. He's getting to his feet out. I'm going to tell you something about Ron LaFleur. This is one of the toughest guys you can ever see. As you look at it now and you'll see his feet come out from under him, he had a chance to catch this ball. There you see him. The ball hit at the bottom of the wall.
I'll tell you what he slipped on, where the grass touches the warning track.
I've seen a lot of ball games played, and I've caught a few. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher this keyed up in the 9th inning of a ball game, or all through the ball game. You'd think this guy'd be running out of gas by now, or starting to get down a little bit.
3-2 to Hendricks. The fans ready to explode. Here's your pitch. Ground ball should be the ball game. It's over. And the Tigers act like Fidrych has just won the 7th game of the World Series.
He has. He's won 7 in a row. He is some kind of unbelievable young Mark Fidrych.
So Mark Fidrych thanking his teammates. Look at that. He's thanking his teammates. He's thanking the umpires, everybody, the ground crew. And the fans want him to come back. The fans are calling for him to come back. So Mark Fidrych, possibly the all-star pitcher, with a record of 8-1, 8 complete games, stops the Yankees' winning streak at 5. The fans are not going to stop until Fidrych comes back out. They want him to come out and tip his hat. He has won this town. 21-year-old Mark Fidrych from Worcester, Mass. And here he comes! Here he comes! Oh, this is unbelievable. He loves him! Look at that! Shaking the policeman's hand. Look at that! This kid is terrific.
In my life, I've been in baseball 35 years. I have never in my life ever seen anything to equal this. The closest was when Dale Long hit a home run. Why wouldn't he cry?
He's so happy. Look at this!
All right, Bob Uecker is going to go on down to try to get an interview lined up, and we'll hold it up here, Warner. We can go over some other scores, but the only other thing I've ever seen approaching this was when Dale Long hit a home run off Carl Erskine of the Dodgers, and they brought him out. It was the 7th or 8th home run in a row, and the people are still standing here, but never have I seen a ball player brought back out like this.
Fidrych. Bob? The pitching sensation of the American League is with us tonight. Mark, I've never seen anything like this in my life tonight, and I know it's a very emotional moment for you.
Hell yeah. I mean, 48,000 people coming out to see Detroit pitch. I said we couldn't have gave him a better show, you know?
Were you ever worried about the Yankees tonight? I know we talked to you earlier. You said, well, you weren't worried about the Yankee ball club. It doesn't look like you ever worry about anybody.
Well, I don't know. Everything's just new to me, so I just coming out as hard as I can come out after people. And then I have the D. Those guys doing 2/3 the work, and I'm only doing 1/3 by pitching, you know? They got me the runs and all that other stuff, and the people come out and draw it and get my adrenaline flowing. What can I ask? I couldn't ask for no much more.
You know, in the ninth inning of the ball game, Mark, you're so sky high in the ninth inning of the ball game to the early part of the ball game. These tough left-handed hitters with New York, a very short porch here in right field in Detroit, but yet you came inside. You kept pitching inside on the Yankees.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was working, so you just keep on coming when it works. And like that one guy that lefty burnt me, I came outside on him, and he pulled the thing way out there, you know? And then that was the only hit he got off me after that, but damn, it was great. You know, I couldn't ask for anything more. I don't know how to talk.
You know, Bruce Kim has done a lot of catching for you, Mark. Is there a thing going now with you and Bruce Kim? Is he going to be your man now every time you start?
I couldn't answer that question. All I can say is when you're hot with someone, you know, you keep that, you know, thing going, right? So him and I are hot, so why not, you know, keep it going like that? I don't know. I know I'm confident pitching against Bill and John, too, you know? So that doesn't come into my mind because he's the only catcher I'm ever going to have. No. You know, everyone's caught me before. So what the heck? What can I say?
You know, when we watch you, Mark, we watch you tonight, patting the mound, talking to the ball, it looks like, or talking about location. Is that what you're doing out there?
Well, when I pat the mound, I'm just keeping it so I don't, you know, get in that guy's route. I want to dig my own hole and my own landing point and all that because I have my own thing. And then I'm just getting myself psyched, telling it, don't let up now. Just throw it as hard as you can, as hard as you can. And if they burn you, they burn you. That's, you know, life. But I lucked out tonight, and I had the great D behind me and the runs, too.
I tell you didn't luck out tonight. You were outstanding all night long. You threw the ball. We had you clocked tonight. You're throwing the ball 93 miles an hour in the ninth inning, just about the same you were in the early part of the ball game.
Well, life, yes. I don't know how to answer that. I never had a time before in my life. That's the first time anyone's ever timed my ball.
What about when you're talking out there, Mark, all the time? When maybe you miss with a pitch and now you start talking. Are you talking about location?
I'm saying like, well, I stood up on that pitch. I dropped my elbow. I did this. I did that. Because I can feel when I let the ball go. I can feel. I know it's going to come up. Go, you know, where it's going to go. I can feel if I drop my arm and do all that stuff. So I'm telling myself now, just slow and keep it normal like you're supposed to do. and think we're going to throw that pitch. That's all I want to do, you know?
You know, you found a home here in Detroit. You got these fans here tonight. They have been outstanding. You know, I've never seen a ball game like this, Mark. You know, in the ninth inning of this ball game tonight, nobody had left this ballpark.
That's because we were winning. You know, I mean, these guys are doing it all. You know, I love it.
I got to ask you one thing. Have you ever heard a more emotional response from a crowd than we had here tonight?
Well, I never played under this many people before in my life. In the minors, you get, 2,000. But that 2,000 is cheering hard, too, to make it sound like 2,000. But when you get the house packed, we wanted to do good, and we did. We responded to the crowd, you know what I mean?
You said you did this in the minor leagues, too, Mark. I mean, this isn't just a thing that has started now in the major leagues. You did it all the time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I've done this ever since I've been pitching. Keep my mind in the game. Cut.
All right, that's our man, Mark Fidrych, tonight. We'll be back with more right after this. Warner Wolf back with Bob Prince, and Bob Uecker still down on the field, where Mark Fidrych has beaten the New York Yankees 5-1. And Bob Uecker is down on the field, and I think he has some fan reaction to the fine performance of Mark Fidrych. Bob? This is Debbie Wykowski we're talking to right here, and tell me, what about your reactions to Mark Fidrych? Not only yourself, but all these people that stayed in the ballpark tonight.
I mean, what can you say? You love him! But what else? We love him! All right!
When did you start liking him? I mean, is this a thing that's just come on now in the last couple of weeks, or what?
Ever since I got to shake his hand. I mean, what can you say when you shake his hand and you get to meet him? You love him. He's a great pitcher. What else can you do? You love him.
You know, it looks like Mark Fidrych doesn't only have a good thing going with the young people. It's the old people alike. Every baseball fan here in Detroit.
It's everybody, not just the young. Everybody. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves them.
When are we going to start? All right, we're going to send it back upstairs in a couple of minutes now to Warner Wolf. And that's a Mark Fidrych fan right here.
I go 4-2. And now let's go down on the field and talk again with Bob Uecker.
Well, we've got another Mark Fidrych fan down here. Not only a Mark Fidrych fan, a Detroit Tiger fan. This is Dennis Adolphus, and this is Tony right here. And I'm talking with Dennis. I asked Dennis, how many games do you come? Is this the first time you've ever seen Mark Fidrych pitch?
No, this ain't my first time, man. I've been seeing every game he pitched here so far, and, man, it's been good.
How long have you been coming to Tiger games here, Dennis?
Man, ever since 1968 when the Tigers won the pennant, man. I ain't gonna never forget it. I thought St. Louis was gonna beat them, but Tigers came on. Now I think they got another pitcher like Denny McClain, and you can see his performance tonight, man. He was good.
Yeah, but this guy creates a lot more excitement than Denny McClain, doesn't he? This guy, I never saw people stay in a ballpark like they did tonight for Mark Fidrych, along with yourself.
No, man, I ain't kidding. He talked to himself on the mound. He play on the mound, man. He good, man. I don't know. You can see everybody out there and say he's good. I know he's good, That's all I can say, man. He's real good.
Tony, can you talk? Do you know Mark Fidrych?
Mark Fidrych.
Yeah, he knows Mark Fidrych. Did you like the game tonight? Did you have fun out here tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did your dad buy you a hot dog?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back upstairs to Warner Wolf and Bob Prince. All right, here we're going to talk to tonight. This is a set of twins, Keith and Chris Howe, and I know you guys are Fidrych fans. I know that. And I know you're Tiger fans too. You know what I want to ask you? Do you guys play Little League Baseball? Do you play baseball? Would you pattern yourself after Mark Fidrych, his style?
Yeah.
You mean you'd go out there and do all that dirt kicking and patting the mound and talking to the baseball?
Sure.
How about you?
As long as it works.
I think Mark Fidrych says the same thing too. As long as it works, he's going to keep doing it. What do you like about Mark Fidrych? You first.
Well, I like his style, and I just like the way he pitches.
He doesn't keep you out here at the ballpark too long, does he? He wants to get it over and get back in the clubhouse.
Yeah. He's real nervous.
Are you nervous too?
A little.
What about you? What do you like about Mark Fidrych?
I like when he gets on the mound, he don't take no time. He just rushes right into the pitch and gets him out right away. That's what I like about him.
Okay, you guys, thanks for stopping by. And now let's go back upstairs to Warner and Bob Prince. All right, Robert, don't forget next week in Philadelphia, the Phillies and the Dodgers, which will be seen everywhere except in Philadelphia, which will see the Astros-Mets game. Once again, the Tigers beat the Yankees 5-1 tonight here at 50,000 almost in Tiger Stadium. For Bob Prince and Bob Uecker, this is Warner Wolf, and have a good night.
This is ABC.